For more analysis, Mr. Olaide Banu, a research analyst at Atlas Portfolio Limited, joins us. Hello, good to have you on board, Olaide.
Hello, good morning, Petra. Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, let's take a look at what happened at the market yesterday. Yesterday being Wednesday was the second trading day in the week. And then we saw a 0.64% decline in the all-share index. Now, on Tuesday, the day before, the pullback was majorly as a result of reduction in the shares of some Tier 1 banks. We had First Bank, UBA, we had GTCO, and then Zenith, and Now, looking at what happened yesterday, what is responsible for yesterday's decline?
Yesterday, the decline in the market was persisted, as you said, and was as a result of the sell-off in the finance sector and also in the consumer goods sector. So, majority of many stocks in the banking sector declined. The bank sector declined by over 2%. So, investors are actually selling off and reacting to the inflation rates of 70.71% that was released yesterday by the NBS.
All right. Is this a good one? What's happening now?
Yeah, it's actually not a good one for the market, but it's a good one at the other end for investors coming into the market. They will be seeing many of these stocks at a low price, and it's a good opportunity for investors to come into the market. But for the existing one in the market, it's not a good one because many of their investment may be at the south end of their initial investment in the market. So, by and large, I would say it's a good one for long-term investors for them to come into the market.
Okay. All right. Now, let's take a look at the month of June. Of course, today is the 16th. It seems to me like a month where we're seeing a lot of pullbacks and profit taking. Now, compared to the month of May, we had two significant moments where in the all-share index, we had this 50,000 peak, and then at some point we got a 54,000 peak. I mean, those are good moments in the month of May, and to a large extent may defied some of the things that, of course, it is characterized by. But looking at the month of June, how would you describe this month so far?
Coming from April and May, the month of April, the market was at the north end, and also in May. But in June, it's expected that there will be a kind of pullback in the market, a kind of profit taking in the market, which is expected, and coupled with the fact of the interest rate hike and also the continuous rising of the inflation rates. So this is expected that, okay, it's going to be a kind of profit taking in the market, and it is expected.
All right, let's take a look at the Guinness charts now. We have Triple G leading with 8 kobo difference, and it closed at 95 kobo. And then we also had Len Africa following immediately. What's the sentiment behind this increase? Especially, let's focus on Triple G.
I said it earlier in the month that what we begin to see this month so far will be a kind of investment, price appreciation in many of these small capitalized stocks. And this is what we begin to see in the likes of the Triple G, Len Africa, and the likes. So when the market is at the bearish end, then we begin to see some kind of activities, positive activities towards the small capitalized stocks, while the large and medium capitalized stocks may be on the swing side and mainly at the bearish zone.
All right. I guess you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. All
right. Quickly, let's check out the decliners table. We had Maya leading the pack with 31 kobo loss to close at 2.75 kobo, and then we also had Linkage Assurance closing negative, closing at 51 kobo. Why is this? What's happening to that stock?
For the likes of Maya, Maya was some weeks ago at the positive end, gaining over 10% nearly every day or nearly every week. But what we begin to see now is profit taking. Some investors are taking profits from the stocks, and this may continue for a while, just for a short period of time, which I believe before the price stabilizes again. And for the other likes of
Linkage Assurance.
Linkage Assurance. The Linkage Assurance has been on a seesaw movement. There will be a time it will be on the positive end. And yesterday was just the unlucky day for Linkage Assurance to decline in price. Sometimes it will be on the positive end. Sometimes is be on the negative end.
Okay, now very quickly, let's take a look at your outlook for the remaining days of this week.
Yeah, my outlook for the rest of the week, I believe the market is going to have a rebound, probably today or tomorrow, so to say. But aggregately, the market is expected to be at the lower end. And reason being that the current inflation rate is as the current inflation rate of 70.71% compared to what you are having on the fixed income market. You are still having a negative real return on your investment, and the only place you can have that as we speak now is the equity market. And if you look into the prices of many of the stocks, this, as I said earlier, this is the best time for you to come into this market, looking at all those fundamental viable stocks. But coupled with the fact of the cautious trading we are having in the markets, we begin to see some kind of cautious trading at the other end. But by and large, aggregately, I believe the market may still be on the negative end.
All right, what has been the impact of inflation on the market?
The impact, as I said just now, is that it's going to have a positive return to it. The reason being that majority of these prices have been moderated now, and investors will be looking at, okay, the price is quite stable, and looking at the alternative apart from the equity markets, looking at the alternative, your real return on investment will be negative, looking at the higher inflation rate compared to the fixed income rate at 30% compared to 70%. That's minus 4.71%. And the only best place you can get that within months, within weeks, is the equity market, where you can have 20-50% if possible.
All right, so what should the investors be doing now, looking at the inflation rates that we have? What advice do you have for investors?
My advice to the investors is to look at the fundamentally viable stocks to invest into it now, considering the fact that the prices of many of those stocks have been low and moderated over this period of time. And it's for them to take advantage of the low price. And going forward, I believe they are going to smile to the market again.
All right, thank you so much. We've been speaking with Olaide Banu, research analyst with Atlas Portfolio Limited. Thank you for your time, Olaide.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.
All right. And coming up after this break, the World Bank has said the country would need about $100 billion in the next 10 years to tackle the erratic power supply challenges. We'll bring you details in a moment. Stay with us.